In my estimation, given my experience as an attorney and as a real estate professional, I will tell you that Lamar Gunn is the proper candidate. And people out there need to sign the petition that we drafted yesterday to the governor and make sure that he is the one that's appointed if he does not win his challenge before the Supreme Court. He has a solid background in advocacy for the people, and that's who should be running that office, not someone who's laying there milquetoast and just been a yes man or a yes woman to the banksters for all of these years. We're here at KingCast Mortgage Movies. Folks, these ballots were checked election night and the day after the election by the Department of Elections. Okay? Each time, Gunn won by 2 votes. It was not until the ballots were unsealed and sent to an all-white and anonymous board of canvass that issues arose. It was not until then, after the original plus 3 recounts, that issues arose. The first 2 recounts had Gunn winning as well with 6 wins. A total of 6 wins now for him, okay? Then a final recount comes in and the talliers find a tie. However, Lisa Robinson reported that McKenna had won by 2, but several eyewitnesses had seen 690 absentees for Gunn and 803 for McKenna, which would have made 1549 for both, okay? Even if we assume arguendo that was all accurate. But remember, I called Lisa Robinson on the phone and she couldn't tell me the total number of votes. That's bullshit because she's in custody of those votes. Now, also at the time, remember, McKenna, there were 60 no votes, which all of a sudden somehow majestically became 56 no votes for either candidate, with 3 of those new 4 votes going for McKenna and 1 for Gunn. Now we're making up another tie. Now, John Pardee knew at the time that it was a tie at number 7, but said nothing. And no one has a clue where these 4 votes surfaced from. And the ballots with marks for each candidate would have shown an error by the machine. Okay? This is what Dominion is saying, the people who make the machine. It's not rocket science. But see, they don't want to put those ballots in and rescan them against what's on the hard drive because that's going to show that these ballots have been tampered with. Now, they're going to swear in Betty Lou McKenna Tuesday because she will not ruffle any feathers with the banks. We know that. And these banks fund all of Governor Markell's initiatives, and never mind the blatant fraud upon the court. I am filing a notice of fraud upon the court with a link to this video. Now, John Pardee wrote that I make him laugh. Well, really, this whole thing is a crying shame, Attorney Pardee, and Governor Markell is at the head of this rotting fish. As to you, John, I'll see you in court for the First Amendment press violation set forth by you and your client, Miss McKenna, as you lied to me about having a written policy to keep my cameras out of the registry of deeds. That's all I have for you right now, counselor. That is correct, and like I say, he was able to get that notary license revoked for Nicole Shelton without Betty Lou McKenna's help, and that was the first red flag to me. It was that she's not working in the best interest of the citizens. So that was a couple of years ago, and then I lost track with Mr. Gunn because we're not personal friends. I mean, I just know what he does as a financial planner and as someone trying to ferret out corruption. So a couple of years later, flash forward to now, I find out that he was running to oppose Betty Lou McKenna. And I found out that the election was very close. So I already had a trip scheduled to Boston. I live in Seattle now. And I said I took a way out of my route. Well, the first thing I did was there were allegations that Mr. Gunn had committed improprieties in the election, to wit, that he had improperly courted an elder with an absentee ballot, and that he had conducted an improper voter registration drive at a local college. I called Betty Lou McKenna's office, and I called her attorney, John Pardee. I left messages. It's all tape recorded, and it's all on YouTube. And I asked them to comment on these allegations, because if they're false, that's arguably defamatory, even in a political context. They never responded. I think by staying with the status quo in light of the evidence before us and in light of their conduct of secrecy and obfuscation, I think he's going the wrong way. And there's just a total lack of responsibility from Betty Lou McKenna in her personal affairs that I mentioned, the bankruptcies, the foreclosures, as well as her administration of this office and refusing to ferret out any of the illegalities that are occurring right before her. We've got John O'Brien as a recorder of deeds up in Massachusetts. He knows that his area is a crime scene. We've got Nancy Becker right next door in Pennsylvania. She knows that everything's a crime scene, and she's involved in litigation against MERS and all of these entities that are ultimately are robbing the American public because they're not paying for recording fees. And that yes, just beyond the pale is that there were originally 60 no votes where there's not a vote for either candidate, all right? But now in the last counts and up comes, look, there's only 56 of those now. And you have a magic 4 votes. And that's the magic number. You got vote early, vote often. Right. Well, funny you should mention that because I moved from the East Coast a year and a half ago to Seattle, Washington. I like my motorcycles. I like my outdoorsy, and that's where I'm at for now. We got a hunting dog out here, and I'm kind of comfortable on the West Coast right now. But I will always be involved in East Coast politics. I've got family there, and it's a plane ride away. And of course, the internet makes things all possible now. So, and keep in mind now this litigation that I've got coming against them for the secrecy, that's going to expose a lot of things they don't want exposed as well. So, just keep watching that, and we'll be in touch. But it's not just me. Like I say, it's the people from I forget her name now. The woman who runs the Delaware Way journal online, and it's a number of people who are supporting Mr. Gunn, who are following. So it's not just me, but the internet helps us come together and coalesce so that we can help mount our concerns so that they can be heard. And if the governor doesn't want to hear them, well, we're going to talk to anybody else who will, and maybe one day he's going to have to reconsider that when it comes time for election. Well, I haven't appealed anything. I'm just reporting this. Like I say, I'm not even a close personal friend of Lamar's. I've known him over the years, but I never met him until last month. you know, I beg your pardon. I am. What I'm suing McKenna, Betty Lou McKenna, and John Parody because they told me when I was there a few weeks ago that I wasn't allowed to run cameras in the recorder's building. Mr. Gunn was going to show me some information that's public information, and they told me I couldn't run my cameras in the building. But then the corporate attorney said, no, there's no such policy. They lied. Actually, I'm going to file it in Seattle and make them come remove it. Yeah, that is correct. That is correct. Yes, because after this came out, those 4 votes, another phantom votes come out, just enough to give her a tie, to make it a tie, and then toss it in and it's like it's a marionette program going on here. So yes, that was appealed. Mr. Gunn's attorneys have appealed that, and everything is there. So she has a thorough. But between the two of us, you got everything you need to follow this. Indeed, Happy New Year to you all. We'll be in touch.